Hello and welcome to Salford Now. I'm Olivia Mukherjee.
And I'm Emily Nolan, and here's what's coming up on today's programme.
Coronavirus fears cancel a literary event at the Lowry and Coronation Street stops their tours at the Salford studios. We'll have all the latest.
She marched for women's rights 100 years ago, why Sylvia Pankhurst is still making history today.
And can Salford become Silicon Valley? The festival hoping to make our city a digital hub. We start today with some breaking news. The parent of a pupil at a Salford primary school is confirmed to have coronavirus. It means that 3 schools in the city will be closed tomorrow for a deep clean.
Greater Manchester has more than 20 confirmed cases of coronavirus, which has been described as an international pandemic by the World Health Organization. Our reporter Holly Farragher joins us in the studio. So Holly, what more do we know about the case in Salford?
So we know that the case has come from Lewis Street Primary School. The decision has been taken to close Lewis Street and 2 more schools, Christchurch and Lark Hill. The executive head teacher, Wendy McCormack, has said in a letter to parents that health authorities have not insisted that the school should be closed, but their priorities are to be of the well-being of the pupils and staff. As it stands, there's currently 596 cases of coronavirus in the UK. Yesterday, Chancellor Rishi Sunak delivered the budget and promised that the NHS would get whatever resources they required, even if that meant millions or billions of pounds.
What everyone needs to know is that we are doing everything we can to keep this country and our people healthy and financially secure.
Boris Johnson is currently holding an emergency Cobra meeting as we speak. We don't know what will come of the meeting, but it is expected that the country will move into the next phase, which is being called the delay phase. Now, this could mean closing public spaces, cancelling events. It might also mean that sporting events are to be taking place behind closed doors. However, Liverpool's manager Jurgen Klopp is reluctant to play in a stadium with no fans, but it has been decided that Manchester United's game against Austria for the Europa League will be played in an empty stadium.
It's coming up to festival season now. Is there any news on what will happen to these events?
If you have bought a ticket for local festivals such as Parklife or Neighbourhood Weekender, the advice right now is to not panic just yet. It has been decided it's too early to cancel any events taking place in the summer. Organisers are facing a hard decision though on whether to commit to continuing planning these large gatherings and hoping they take place. Another big worry for the organisers is not having the right insurance to cover the events. Because the virus is now being announced as a pandemic and is a global issue, event organisers can't insure themselves for it anymore. It's like trying to insure your house while it's already on fire. It just wouldn't work. But on a lighter note, I went and asked people of Salford what 3 things they would take with them if they were quarantined for coronavirus.
My phone charger, and my music.
Well, definitely some music, probably my instrument.
Some wine.
Some wine. There you go.
So my question for you is, if you were quarantined today, what 3 things would you take with you?
So I'd take a big box of chocolate-covered strawberries, I'd take my own pillow, and I'll take my phone. What about you?
I think I'd have a big Sunday roast, my TV, Netflix account, and a big comfy pillow.
Well, hopefully it won't get to that stage. Salford has been trying its best for many years to be recognised as the media hub in the north. But has it been successful?
The Digital City Festival is taking place today to showcase the best of the northern powerhouses. Our reporter Shauna Burns went down to find out more.
There's nothing like the connection from a face-to-face conversation. The Digital City Expo event has got that ethos exactly in mind. 2020 marks the first ever Digital City Festival, and where better than Manchester, the home of tech giants like BBC, Boohoo and AO.com.
It's about time that most industry along these lines came out of London and allowed to be, anywhere else in the country where it's going to grow jobs, it's going to grow the economy, but also as well because the property prices and things are so much cheaper here. It allows people to be a lot more competitive on the market as well.
It's bringing together thousands of people across tech, e-commerce and media to share ideas.
And we're now moving into a technically it's everywhere and it's going to blow up, and I think for us personally it's good to shout about it and be like, you can incorporate tech into your business and, like what we say, help you grow.
We live in quite a digital world these days, and a lot of information is consumed in that sense, but it just gives clients the ability to do that face-to-face in a sort of organic and natural environment.
The festival's aim is to celebrate the North's booming digital economy for companies like these to meet and build relationships together.
Creates a real sense of community and collaboration. I think Greater Manchester is really good at that, so it's great to see many people that we know already that are here developing new products, developing new propositions, but also innovating with technology, and that's a big part of what we do at Salford. So being here with them is being part of that community, supporting each other, but also talking about some of the cool new stuff that we're working on.
Shauna Burns, Salford Now.
We have lots of things going on in and around Salford entertainment-wise over the next few days. Our reporter Callum is in the studio with more.
Yeah, so Sports Relief has actually been here over the last couple of days filming, and it's going to be continuing filming tomorrow night, of course, for the big event. Yesterday, teams from BBC, ITV, Channel 4 and Sky were here. Now, there were lots of celebrities taking part in a big rowing race for the charity, including Steve Backshall and the radio presenter Maya Jama as well. Now, the actual result of this is going to be shown on the programme tomorrow night on BBC One from 7 p.m.
So do you know what's going to be happening in the programme, Callum?
Yeah, there's quite a lot taking part in this programme, actually. There's going to be a special mini-episode of Line of Duty, which is going to be featuring the comedian Lee Mack. There's also going to be a bit of a parody of the drama Killing Eve called Killing Steve. Now, as part of this, the character of Villanelle, she's going to be going on a big mission around the nation, killing our favourite Steves, including Stephen Mulhern and Coronation Street Steve McDonald.
Oh, that's not the only thing happening at Corrie this week, is it?
No, well, actually, because of coronavirus, they've cancelled the tours of the set and the studios over at the Corrie Studios, just over the road, of course, for us. And now what they have done as well, though, in the meantime, is they've submitted planning applications for a three-storey Coronation Street experience. Now, this is going to include a 70-seat auditorium, a gift shop in the shape of the Rover's return, and an exhibition that's going to be filled with Corrie memorabilia.
Thanks, Callum. Without the likes of Sylvia Pankhurst and her fellow suffragettes, there's a chance that we wouldn't be sat here. Two women presenting today.
Although they got the ball rolling, Catherine Connolly believes the fight over 100 years ago is still continuing today. Our reporter Tyler Ralphs went to the Working Class Movement Library to reflect upon her work.
In 1911, Sylvia Pankhurst travelled to America to spread the suffragette message to campaigners in the US. Pankhurst, who was born in Old Trafford, was a well-known women's rights campaigner who was notoriously imprisoned 8 times and was even awarded a Hunger Strike Medal for Valour by the Women's Social and Political Union. This week, in honour of International Women's Day, an author who has been inspired by Sylvia's life came to Salford's Working Class Movement Library to talk about her book, which sheds light on the suffragettes' tours of America.
I think Sylvia Pankhurst is the individual in the suffrage movement that speaks very, very relevantly to us today. All of the women that campaigned for Votes for Women were enormously personally courageous. All of them risked their lives in that struggle. But Sylvia Pankhurst was able to connect up women's oppression with a wider struggle for a different kind of society.
It's clear that Sylvia Pankhurst was extremely influential at the beginning of the women's rights movements back in 1911. Author Kate Connolly agrees that she's still extremely significant in today's society, especially as we reflect on International Women's Day.
For women like Sylvia Pankhurst, the vote was only part of the struggle. They wanted the vote because they wanted to dismantle the wider social and economic inequalities inside society. So they wanted the vote to be a way of ending poverty, of ending low pay, of ending unequal pay for women, of ending sexual harassment of women. All of those things still remain. And so we still need to fight back against those things. And I think that's where somebody like Sylvia Pankhurst can be very, very inspiring, because she told us how we can do that and how we can realise our collective strength.
International Women's Day is a time to reflect on the difficulties women still face in today's society. Sylvia Pankhurst and her fellow suffragettes have been instrumental in inspiring a modern generation to continue in the mission for equality. Tyler Ralphs, Salford Now.
Sylvia Pankhurst is very inspiring. Well, that's all we've got time for now. Be sure to follow Salford Now on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more daily updates at Salford Now.
Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Have a good weekend. Goodbye.